Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce presents the Bowie Business Journal, a program designed to keep our community informed about important business and economic issues.
Hello, I'm Bert Oliver, and welcome to the Bowie Business Journal. And today we have two guests that is going to give us some advice on what's happening about a new event the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring this coming week. So Kelly, the Executive Director of the Chamber, how about kicking it off and introduce that other guest?
Sure. We're here today to talk about the third annual Taste of Bowie and the annual fashion show that'll take place next Wednesday, November 10th at 6 in the evening at Boswell Hall, which if you're local, Bowie is also known as the Knights of Columbus Hall out on 301. And the co-chair of the event is Elena Heinley with Edward Jones Investments, and so she's here with me also.
Yeah, and Elena's been here before on the program. So, you know, there's just so much to cover, so I guess we better move along. Next Wednesday, this event is going to take place. That date again?
November 10th.
November 10th. And so we should be on there before that. But Elena, how about you? You're chairing the event this year, right?
Yeah.
For the Chamber.
Yeah, well, yeah, Women in Business. So.
And Women in Business Committee. You're chair of that also, right?
Yeah,
year.
Women in Business.
So why don't you start giving us some advice on how to
What's it all
we
about?
can participate.
Yeah.
Right.
Tickets are still available. You can call the Chamber. But basically give you an idea of what it's about. There's participating restaurants in the community and a lot of business owners and people in the community helping out to put this event together. So it's a wonderful opportunity for people to come out, have fun, kind of, and get to know people in the community maybe they haven't met before. But the restaurants that are involved that are sharing some taste of some of their food.
Taste of Bowie is called.
Yes, would be Longhorn, Duclaw, TJ Elliott's, Boswell Hall, Catering, Main Street Catering, Expressions Catering. There is actually also, the Cakery, of course, they're goodies. And there is going to be a new restaurant coming out soon to Bowie called Chesapeake Grill. They're going to be participating too. Am I missing another restaurant?
I think that's all.
Yes. So they're going to have items and food for everyone to taste. And obviously we're going to have the fashion show with some models, some key figures in the community like...
What do you mean key figures?
Key figures, people that are very well known. I mean, I'm not from the area originally, so it's been wonderful for me to be such a part of the Chamber because it's gotten me to meet and develop relationships with a lot of people in the community. So it's been a wonderful experience. So to me, I would never have met these people if it wasn't for the Chamber and their activities. But some of the models would be Al Bauman from BB&T and Mark Melvin, who is our president of the Chamber of Commerce currently with Melvin Motors. Some other people?
Our Deputy Chief of Police, John Neske, is one of the models, and Danny Veter, who's at the Washington Savings Bank. Some of the women who are modeling are Elena Heinley is one of our models. Other models.
Also, did you say, is Todd Turner?
Todd Turner, who's on City Council, is one of the models. I was trying to think of the other women, though, Elena. I'm sorry.
Well, it's on the website, on the Chamber website.
Yes.
And I think you got other names of the models on there. Because maybe someone that might just spot someone and they want to come and see model. But this event now is the third year, is that correct?
This is the third year that we've done the event with the Taste of Bowie. That's kind of the new component. The fashion show itself as a partnership with the Chamber's Women in Business Committee and Seroptimus International of Bowie Crofton, has gone on for over 20 years as a fundraiser for both of the scholarship funds. And the two organizations come together, plan the event, and then share in the proceeds for their scholarships. But this is the third, so the event has a long history and has evolved over the years. And several years ago, we decided to, rather than hiring a caterer for the event, which needs to obviously then come out of the proceeds and the ticket sales, we now have the restaurants come, gets to showcase some of our chamber member restaurants, and we don't have that bill to pay at the end of the night, so there's more money for the scholarships.
Sound like an executive director talking. The important thing is it has been several years and it's been very well received. The fashion show was the first for several years, and for the same reasons. And it's not only to introduce the business people. What the proceeds are going to is something I want to be sure we cover.
Yes.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about that now?
Okay. Both organizations have scholarship funds. The Women in Business Scholarship is for any woman in the community, who either works in the community or lives in the community. If you work in the community for a chamber member, then you can apply for the scholarship. Those applications are available after the first of the year. We do the judging the deadline is in April. We do the judging in May and then award usually 2 of them at our annual dinner in June. And they're for any kind of training. It doesn't necessarily have to be college. It can be another real estate class that a broker may need, or an accounting class or something that a banker might need. So it can be any kind of additional training that helps you advance in the workplace. And then Seroptimus gives 2 awards every year, and those applications are available right now. Same contact, you can call the chamber office and we can get you in touch with them to get the applications. One is called the Women's Opportunity Award for female head of household specifically. Doesn't mean she can't be married, but needs to be the primary breadwinner and have dependent children, and needs additional training to advance in the workplace. So that grant is given every year at our annual dinner in May, but regionally, Seroptimus requires the applications to be in by the end of January, I believe. The other award that Seroptimus gives is called the Violet Richardson Award, and that's for a teenage girl between 14 and 17 that does volunteer work with a local organization in the community, and we give a grant to that girl and a grant to the nonprofit that she may work with. So whether that's the Girl Scouts, or one year we gave it to one of the police explorers when the department was just starting up to help that program get going. So we give a grant to both the girl and the organization that way.
And that's from Seroptimus, most of that.
Those are both Seroptimus.
Let me ask you something, Kayla. I've talked to a lot of people with organizations like Seroptimus and others. Is the Seroptimus growing pretty well, expanding?
You know, I won't say we're growing, but given the economy, we certainly haven't dropped a lot. We've maintained about 30 members for a number of years. The club's been in existence 30 years, and Elena's a fairly new member. I've been a member for a number of years, but we're still hanging in there at about 30, which is good. And I think the nonprofit organizational world to still maintain a pretty strong base of members, and most of those are involved. It's not just the same handful of people that are involved.
Well, that's what I'd hoped. If you had some secrets I wanted to share with everyone else in the area, because clubs are having a tough time.
Keeping it fun. That's the secret.
Yes,
keeping it fun.
Absolutely.
And keeping it affordable. You know, I think in a time where people are struggling financially, keeping something like that affordable is real important for people too. And knowing that in some of the things that you do, that you're doing something good for the community.
Right. And I would say with Seroptimus right now, and like Kelly said, keeping it fun, and we meet at a restaurant, you know, once a month, and do some other activities and holiday party, which actually Kelly's hosting, but making it fun that way, but also the causes that we raise money for and try to help out with, keeping kind of up to date on just some new issues that are affecting women. So that's what we've been getting into, some new issues right now too. So it's the women are getting excited about being involved in some of the ways that we can help. So.
And too, you've always had the strength of the organization. I know pretty well way back too, like Kelly was part of, and others that I know. But it seemed to have hung in there, you might say, when we're finding, and don't want to name all of the clubs and so forth, but I belong to several, and I'm constantly getting mail about we need help, our membership's declining. And the needs and the things they base their organization on from the very beginning may not have expanded because they covered every need they felt like the community had. And like the Knights of Columbus, you were meeting there in Boswell Hall, I understand, next Wednesday. But I don't know how their numbers are, but Elks, I do, and a few others. And there's some organization, not like the Kiwanis Club was at one time the business organization in this community. I remember when I first moved the community and joined it, there was about 2 or 3 federal employees there, members, but most of them were business people, and that served as a listing post, you might say, to things that were going on in the community. And of course, the chamber was not here at the time, and since then, the chamber has given a lot of replacement, but some of these other organizations probably a little to dying out. And the question I have of those that we do know about it, and your organization is doing well, why do you think it is that they are losing members? And the reason I ask this is because I've been getting, I'll give you some choices. For a while there, a few years ago, it was the soccer had its influence on the younger members, and they spent their time with their soccer kids rather than going to an evening meeting. And then later, I've talked to leaders of these organizations. They said, Bert, it's the internet. Young people are on the internet, yet a lot of people, they tell me, gosh, we got members that said, look, they've dropped off because they're so busy. And yet in personal interviews, I say, well, I hit the internet when I walk in the door from business and work, and I'm on it for several hours. Usually communicating and all that, they say, but it may or may not be. So when you look at these numbers of organizations dropping, that it just didn't make sense to hear that was a reason. Mm-hmm. So Seroptimus has got the secret. You've maintained your membership. You've made it interesting, fun. You're no doubt helping business people share with their advice to others, mm-hmm. and so forth. And even the Bowie chamber may not have as much personal results as you would have as Seroptimus. So getting through that now, I wanted to mention, how did you select your models for the modeling?
Change the subject.
Now, they had to have some criteria, I bet you.
Well, a lot of people that are
chamber members.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people involved in the chamber. And actually, just to comment on what you just said about membership and things like that, I think that people I'm going to give an example just from my view with the Chamber of Commerce, and that people need to find value, personal value in an organization. And I know, like, as for the chamber, there's a lot of value being part of that because of just like you said, the new technology, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. It still takes away from the personal interactions, and something like the chamber and all the events that they do and the activities. There's such value in having that personal interaction with other people in this community and other business owners that I think a lot of people, when they realize the value of that, is what really helps, like, the membership with the chamber, because it has added a lot of value to people that are members, and to see that value. So, and nothing can take away, how many, new technologies, the actual personal face-to-face that you get in that interaction.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think that is the future right there. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any concern about the organization growing, but in these ideas. And I must say this, and over the years that belonging to different organizations, I have never gone to an event that I didn't have a prospect for my business, for whatever it may be. I have a business brokerage firm too. Someone said, "Oh, I didn't know we had a business broker in Bowie." had a service station you wanted to sell. Came through the chamber at the time, and the executive director at the time says, you need to call on this guy. Said he heard about you. So it not only has value because of what you put in, but people work well with someone they know in a lot of ways.